Madeline Brody. I'm a broker on our Healthcare and Human Services team here at Arlington Row. Today, I have the pleasure of chatting with Jamie Van Camp about their home companion care product. Jamie is our underwriter with SECURA Specialty. With the movement of aging in place growing for our aging population, we see submissions for home companion care constantly, and we'd like to share how SECURA can help with these. So I'd like to start out first with kind of discussing what home companion care is and how it compares to home health care.
Sure. Yeah. So there is a big difference. And I think those terms do tend to get intermingled sometimes. So, your through home companion care is more of helping with chores and helping with kind of hygiene needs, dispensing, of medications that they already have. Where you kind of bridge into that home health care is where somebody's actually very much kind of more nursing, helping with more in-depth type illnesses, thinking of like dementia and things of that sort. So we are more truly, assisting, kind of there for companionship in those types of risks.
Sometimes we see a little bit of crossover where companion care risks will have nurses on staff. How do you look at that?
Yeah, so we do see that. It's just kind of, the skill set that they have and it's some experience that they kind of use to help them get into this realm of business. So it's not something that we necessarily be like, no, we're not going to write something like that. But as long as, we might be asking some more questions of what are they actually doing? What services are they providing? If they're not reaching into more of that actual medical care, it's something that we would probably be okay with.
Thank you. Yeah, the product isn't necessarily for medical malpractice.
Yes.
So as an underwriter, what kinds of policies and procedures do you like to see in place for these?
So the types of policies and procedures that we usually like to see up in the front end, we like to see kind of the customer, employee or insured agreement, what they're going to be, providing for services. Formal training on safety programs is, that's a big thing, that one-on-one interaction, making sure that everyone is okay. If there is an incident, reporting how that incident is reported is very key. So a lot of just kind of, safety measures and checks and balances to make sure that things are being covered and considered.
With that, what sort of experience are you looking for when writing a companion care risk? Will you look at new ventures? And if so, what do you need to consider it?
Sure. So we will look at new ventures. Usually kind of the experience we see a lot of is this individual was working for another home companion care prior for a couple of years. Maybe they're helping kind of, manage things. And then they decided, hey, I'm going to kind of break off and start my own business. We see a lot of that. If there's some background, in other ways, sometimes that experience kind of varies a bit. If we see a resume, sometimes we can, figure out if it's still something that would be a good fit, but it's definitely not completely off the table if they're a new venture.
Right. So with that topic, what are some most common reasons for declines?
So a lot of the times why we might see a decline is if that experience is kind of lacking, if we're kind of reaching into more of that medical piece. We don't like to look into necessarily the live-in services or the full 24/7 around the clock kind of care. That's where you're kind of reaching into, are you actually, just being home companion, or are you doing more of that medical piece of it? So.
Thanks. I'd like to jump into the product more now. So what lines of business can you write for this class?
So you can do your package, your auto, umbrella, work comp, abuse, crime. Pretty much I feel like a lot of what we offer is something that we could consider for this class of business.
Thanks. So diving in deeper to the coverages, lots of our insureds don't necessarily consider the hired and non-owned auto coverage, abuse coverage, or crime coverage. And when dealing with home companion care, why are those coverages so important?
Sure. So kind of what I hit on before, that one-on-one exposure, that's kind of a really big piece of it. People are pretty sue happy these days. So it allows them to have that protection. If there's, ever a situation where, say for crime, they say that their employee stole something from their home, there's something there to help with that. There's a lot of running around of errands and dropping them off and stuff like that. It's nice to have that coverage in place too for the employees to make sure if they're using their personal vehicles or something of that sort, that they have coverage there too.
To jump into our last question, to get a quick turnaround time, what will bring a submission to the top of your stack?
So for us, having as full and complete of a submission as possible is very helpful. Your accords, your questionnaires, we have a specific abuse and molestation questionnaire, loss history, websites are super helpful too. It just helps us take a look at the risk and see if there's anything, that might stick out that maybe we can't partake in, offering a quote for, but that helps us kind of move the process a lot faster if we have all those different pieces together.
Awesome. Thank you for all the great information, Jamie, and thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you.